On the island of Kunigami in the Okinawa archipelago, 28 teams of 2, 3, and 4 will experience an island diverse in history from the Ryukyu Empire and Japanese Empire to World War II. It will take teams 10 to 14 hours to complete the 50-kilometer course of obstacles, terrain, and culture. This is not a relay, it is non-stop. Teams must stay together, unsupported, through the entire race course. Navigation is by map and compass along a loose route of checkpoints they must collect along the way. This is the first time an adventure race has been hosted in Okinawa, created by longtime adventure racing veteran Ron Flick.
So Okinawa is just an epic location. It's super awesome. It's located in the South China Sea here in the South Pacific. It's a subtropic, so our environment's pretty neat. We have everything that a tropical region has, to include the hazardous snakes and wildlife, but we also have the beauty and the landscape and the crystal blue waters that surround the island. So this course is going to start off with a short 5-mile paddle, but it's going to combine ocean kayaking with river kayaking. We're going to have checkpoints and natural arches, off spillways. They're going to work their way back to the start point, get back on the bike. Throughout Okinawa, they're going to experience castle ruins. They're going to do clay sculptures, move through caves that are underground, find underground waterfalls.
Starting on the shores of historical Tori Beach, the 150-kilometer course contains mountain biking, sea kayaking, coast steering, and subterranean checkpoints. Expected finish time is 10 to 14 hours.
Myself, I'm an adventure racer. I love it. This adventure racing has cut me deep. It has a special place in my heart, and I just want to do everything in my power to introduce the sport to as many people as possible. We have all walks of life on this course. We have everything from Special Forces soldiers that are stationed over here to Marines to airmen. We have spouses, veterans that have chosen to stay here on Okinawa. We're a multi-discipline sport that pushes them to their limits across brutal terrain, across nice terrain, and I hope they get to see a lot of Okinawa that they haven't seen already. This race here will hopefully introduce at least 65 or 68 racers into a new sport and push them to the limits.
Teams gather at the start, making last-minute preparations in the early morning.
We're definitely not going to use our authority to shut down any gates. We're not going to change the force protection condition. All right, we're going to do none of those things. There won't be mandatory breathalyzers on the way in and out. It's going to be completely fair.
We're just copying down some backup information just in case we destroy this somehow. Always good to have a backup. We got some Write in the Rain waterproof notebook paper and my chicken scratch. It's undecipherable by the answer.
Each of these checkpoints has a transition area. There's a sort of sequence of events that we have to go in. So we're just making sure that we know we have to go to follow certain checkpoints and then hit the transition areas afterwards.
3, 2, 1, woo!
I think the puzzle's supposed to just slow us all down and spread us out before the kayaks so we don't come crashing into one another.
In order to break up the rush to the kayaks in the dark, teams must complete a puzzle prior to paddling.
We're doing this puzzle so it gives everyone else a chance to get in front of us, make this a challenging race for us to catch back up and win it.
Those finishing make the short run along the historic World War II landing zone, Tori Beach.
Can't smoke a rock there, Sergeant Major. Can't smoke a rock.
Dawn finds teams navigating up Hagushi Bay inland to the Hija River to locate a checkpoint. The Hija River once split the U.S. military's landing parties at the beginning of the Battle of Okinawa, the Marines to the north and the Army to the south.
It's a little deeper than I thought.
Try to find the point here. Where do you think it is? I have no idea. Somewhere around the dam?
Yep.
Ready? You got it?
I need it out.
Is it over there?
One's lost.
Dude, that just came down.
Huh?
All right, let's go do that down.
Teams begin to spread out along the Hija River, looking for a checkpoint, some arriving late and others heading back to the bay. They must negotiate the river and the checkpoints together, leaving some teams waiting for their teammates who took to land looking for the checkpoint.
It's moderately depressing watching them all pass us, but
It's over there, guys.
theoretically, we're about to find out.
Did you get it, or it's over
Yeah, it's over there. We screwed up.
Finding checkpoints can be complex and often become bottlenecks early in the race. "7,000 years ago, the primitive Ryukyu people lived along this river, hunting, gathering, and fishing. Departing Hagushi Bay, teams search the natural arches of the ancient coral cliffs for their next checkpoint. Feeling they have found the correct beach, lead teams land their kayaks to search for the checkpoint.
At this point,
Adventure racing is more than physical endurance. It is a game of strategy and mental prowess as well. Teams must stay alert and focused on navigating to the checkpoints, as well as keeping their team motivated. Although they have located the area where the checkpoints may be, this still leaves actually finding the checkpoint challenging, and teams often get creative in how they negotiate punching the check card. One of the top teams lags behind the leaders. However, in this game of efficiencies, every moment counts, and improvisation can get them back to the top of the pack.
No point. Shut up. All right, you go. I'm going to turn us around and get us. Get out of the way, gentlemen. All right, flip it around, turn it first. I get second.
As teams take longer to find checkpoints and negotiate the route, the tide recedes, leaving behind beautiful and dangerous coral reefs. As kayaks get stuck, teams not only have to be wary of the sharp coral, but the numerous deadly sea snakes swimming around them. Once they have negotiated the reefs, they complete a coastal paddle back to Torii Beach, transitioning to the bike. Mounting their bikes, they head inland.
Yeah, kayaking's never been my forte, but I can bike my ass off, so we'll see what happens.
This is Zakimi Castle, center of the ancient Ryukyu Empire. Built in 1416 of petrified coral, it is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
A little tired, and it's only 7:12. Oh, this is checkpoint 3. What, we got 32? 32.
a lot of racing.
It's gonna be a long day.
A lot of
It's gonna be a long
racing.
day.
The cultural experiences are coveted by the adventure racers, and although moving fast, they are moving over a culture with 7,000 years of history.
So we did some planning yesterday, scouted out some areas. Collectively, since we've been on Oki for a little bit, we can draw on some resident knowledge here for some of the major landmarks. I don't know all of them, but we've got a good route plan. We just gotta make sure we don't get turned around at each one. So I think we'll make some good time.
No, and on that tire, make sure that thing's unscrewed.
Okay.
All right, now jam it in.
All the way to
Yeah, just jam it in and then lock it. Tilt it up. Tilt that.
We're having a little break here, 1124.
Time is now 12:23. We've been at it looking for TA4 for probably the last hour and a half now, and it's been we've been pig dancing all around it. It's been tough. You know, it's really tough in land navigation when you're right on it and you just can't find it. Yeah. And you kind of question your pace count, you question everything you're doing. You're like, oh, maybe I just don't know how to keep pace when I'm blazing through on the bike. But what we've reaffirmed here is that our pace count's good.
We were right the first time. We were right the first time.
We're fine, so never second guess yourself, even if you're at a moment of discouragement.
Just gotta stay in front of these guys here, we'll be all right.
Unique checkpoint locations add a level of complexity and expand the race experience as teams move up and down the Okinawa coast, locating checkpoints along some of the most secluded beaches.
Fucking money. I think as long as we continue to do good navigation, we'll be okay.
Biking continues up the rugged volcanic coast from the Cape Zampa Lighthouse. Pottery is a tradition in the Ryukyu culture. Teams must stop at a pottery checkpoint and participate in the 900-year-old tradition.
No clay, no punch.
One of the unique features of the Okinawan coastline is the eroded limestone cliffs made of coral. Years of pounding surf have left behind arches, lone seamounts, and caverns, giving a picturesque backdrop to much of the race and some confusion in the dark.
We're on our 6th time of getting lost, so
Minor. We're doing a better job at using catching features so we don't overshoot the checkpoints.
this is checkpoint 10.
Yeah.
So now we're going down here to 11, which is Dam Tower Castle. Dam.
Yeah, we gotta stay. We gotta stay to the right of that where it feeds out. Because there's that road that takes it up.
Hill.
Yeah, right after the urban area and turn right.
All right, we got it.
Right there, I can see it. Just head straight.
Let's get another light out, guys.
Found it.
Found it. Oh, let me get you. Hold on. Come here.
Woo!
Yeah, I thought we had to travel the entire ocean.
Okinawa becomes more and more formidable as teams will soon be challenged with a 150-foot rappel into the ocean. But they don't know it. All they know is there will be a rappel.
Nice and smooth with it.
Even for those familiar with rappelling, a vertical cliff dropping into the ocean is an exciting proposition.
I'm at the bottom waiting on the rest of 2-4 to make it down. The race has been ongoing for 7 hours and 56 minutes now. We're finally back on track. That was quite a detour, but got to bounce back.
That's pretty good rappel.
Adventure racing is full of unconventional sections that challenge the best of them. Coasteering and open water swimming against the coral cliff with the threat of sea snakes is the adventure they signed up for. The next checkpoint loosely guides teams to a submerged coastal cave halfway along the open water swim. Finding an underwater checkpoint will be another matter.
Punching our point here, heading back up, get to the next TP. Well, a little bike ride down to turn in and get rid of these fancy vests we got.
Some teams swim back out, while others take advantage of light seen at the back of the cave.
Went down a 150-foot rappel down into the ocean. That's pretty awesome. It was legit.
In adventure racing, there is no route. You can decide which direction you go and how you get there, as long as it stays within the prescribed discipline.
Wow, we're just trying to stay alive right now.
The coast steering section splits teams between those that take to the coral shelf and those that swim.
All right, I think we gave everyone enough of a lead. Time to win this race.
Doing great. This is awesome.
For getting out of the cave, if you keep going through the cave, like most guys would swim back through it, but you can keep climbing up and get through the top of it. It looks a lot worse than it is, though.
Probably save 2 minutes at least going through the cave. So to back out.
A quick mountain bike and some difficult navigation bring teams to another unique checkpoint.
Right now we're looking
going
for
to 16.
electricity.
We're working our way to checkpoint 16.
Which it's got to be this way, because I saw electrical lines. Yeah. So here.
It is south.
Yeah.
So that's north. I mean, if you're
Well, we
saying
go
there's a
out
trail
and then we
network,
go left.
is there a trail network?
Yeah.
Okay.
The limestone caverns and arches continue to dominate the landscape inland. Teams eventually figure the checkpoint is below ground and are amazed at the near movie set environment they descend into. Only to find they must descend further down a small subterranean waterfall.
We're coming back your way. There's no way out down here.
Racers take care not to disturb the ancient burial tombs.
It was an experience. I loved it. I'm definitely bringing my family back, at least my wife.
Right on.
Ugh. Whew. Awesome.
We'll pull out the compass after.
Yeah, if we just go like 10 meters this way. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we'll check it out.
But so we'll head over there. I think that's like a tower, like an electrical tower, up on the side. Yeah, and that's an overlook. I think I know where that overlook is.
Trying to get you both at the same time.
Mountain biking isn't always actually mountain biking. It's sometimes hike-a-bike, especially on the muddy jungle floor. But teams have to reach the checkpoint with their bikes and have to get them there any way they can.
This is amazing. Traveling since 5 a.m.
That I've never done anything like this on a bike.
Do you guys want to go the flat way to the bottom of the stairs and walk the bike up a staircase, or go up muddy, walk the bike muddy?
Here's the difference. When somebody else says, go hike a bike up that because I told you so, it's not as much fun. But when you pay money and volunteer to do it, you gotta keep going because you made it yourself.
Finding checkpoints is exhilarating, especially when they're hard fought in an uphill mountain bike.
We started around that point. There's the
That's
lighthouse
the lighthouse.
on the tip and all the way over.
We came all the way up, down,
Around 2 feet.
Bikes are soon dropped for the next leg of the race into a jungle track section. Even though there are trails through this region, it can be very confusing as to which one will give the most direct route, especially when you're racing to the finish line.
We're all enjoying our first adventure race. It's awesome. I've been training.
Good job, guys.
Okay.
Racing through culture, teams make a mandatory stop to sample habushu, or snake sake. The Habu snake, from which this race takes its name, is an Okinawan viper. The venom in the sake gives strength to those who drink it.
Almost there.
Nachtrieb. 138. I'm looking for 138. Right here.
Oh, then we messed something up. We went 100 meters?
Yeah, I think so.
A race course as tough as an adventure race begins to break down bodies and equipment. Bike problems are common and require ingenuity to fix.
Our only thought at this point was to try and make it to this next TA, see if we can't drop these bikes and then finish the raid on foot, step it out back to the next TA and then to Tori.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
We figure up is the best way to go.
Yeah.
It's an overlook.
Yeah. This is a big loop, right? Yeah. We stay on the trail and we're gonna hit those points.
Yeah, we got an eyeball. Look, we got a. Where you got the trail?
We're lost as usual.
Do you think there's something up there?
That's all right.
Navigational decisions are quick, resulting in turnarounds that can save the day.
Recheck the map, the old compass and shoestring. I'm feeling good about going in elevation.
Overlook, right?
All right, 28.
Gain on your podium and pop.
Merely finishing an adventure race is a huge success for teams, and winning one is often an event one won't soon forget. It's more than personal pride, it's teamwork, perseverance, and finding out you are capable of much more than you thought possible.
You know, this is probably the funnest thing that I've done.
Amazing. But we worked well as a team. The whole team just seemed to gel really well, and everybody kind of filled in each other's gaps. And I think today that's what made that was one of the two things that made the most difference. That and the preparation that these guys put into the planning of the routes last night.
Route planning. Yeah. We probably spent an hour and a half last night pouring over Google Maps. We never had to double back for anything.
One bottle, move down. Where's it at? The goat. The goat.
For the teams of the Habu Hustle of Okinawa, their first adventure race ever, although a short-form race, is a race packed with moments they may never have experienced outside of adventure racing.
We made a lot of bad choices, and constantly there was other teams in front of us the whole time.
I think I'd come a little bit more prepared for the next one.
We definitely didn't have our systems down.
This was a race of first-time adventure racers in the inaugural Habu Hustle, the first race of its kind on Okinawa. 28 teams were immersed in the beauty and culture of Okinawa for 14 hours and 105 kilometers.